Hey. Hi, guys. Welcome back. All right. So, we're going to get into a specific message. After this, I will do a Cancerian video and then we'll bounce back over to the other channel and get the remaining. I think we have just like 4 zodiacs left. I wanted to make sure every zodiac gets one before Sunday is over. So, sorry that it's late, but I'm delighted to be here. So, with this in mind, guys, for this specific message, I was literally picturing somebody who was it was 2 things. They were standing and like, when somebody goes to like they want to talk and they almost like lean and their mouth almost opens, but then you see them not form words and then you see them just stand there and go silent. You're like, okay, what was that person going to say? It's always more intriguing when somebody like almost says something, but then they don't. I saw that in my mind's eye. And then I saw somebody who was like typing and then just pausing with their hand hovering. It seemed to be on a phone, but with their hand like hovering and then like back. Sometimes if you can see somebody's texting you and the little dot is happening and then like it disappears and you're like, okay, apparently they decided not to send a message to me. It was that kind of energy. That's what I was picturing in my head. So I don't know if this means somebody had a chance to say something face to face, didn't, then thought, let me text, then also is pausing on that. But it's very much, I got the impression somebody's trying so hard to find the right words. So we'll see what we got. Hi, everybody. Great to see you all. Sun, Moon, Venus. That's adorable. AC, you were first in the house, babe. Hi, honey. Lauren.co, Tammy Johnson, RT, Wild One, Erica, Kim Pruitt, Nope, April Fresh. So wonderful to see everybody. AC, let me know if I can pull a card for you tomorrow in our members corner, babe. I wanted to say thank you to you. You're so generous always. Thank you, everybody. All right, here we go. So we're starting out with the Strength card, and it is in the reverse. So fear is our first card out. Not the greatest way to begin, but if that's why somebody's afraid to text something, afraid to write something, afraid to do something, totally understandable, right? But we got this big old bear, this big old cuddly teddy bear. I feel like that might literally be this person's personality. They are actually like a nice teddy bear. They could be a Leo or a maybe Leo Virgo cusper. um, but they seem to, you notice how they like gentleness. They like a powerful touch. They like even they need the hand of the divine to come in and give them some kind of support. I'm not saying this person is cowardly at all. I'm saying sometimes there are specific things that brave people in life. Thank you, AC. Thanks, babe. I'm saying that specifically brave people can get to the point where they get tongue tied, or you can be brave in other ways in life. And then when it comes to one thing, you're like, oh, I'm so socially awkward. I'm, like, I totally understand that being an exceptionally socially awkward person myself. So I get that. But I don't think that this person is fearful, like they're cowardly. I think that they're afraid of this specific thing. What do I say? What do I write? Let me type it and untype it. Okay, it's because we have the Lovers. Look, our feminine's already reached out. Our masculine needs to respond. And he knows this, and he knows maybe he's building this up in his head because it's like, oh my God, what I write is going to be really important because I have to respond to her. And this could be the make it or break it. And maybe he's putting way too much emphasis on that. Maybe something more casual and easygoing would be sufficient, but he's definitely saying, no, this matters a lot. But for him, again, maybe it does because this matters. She matters to him. And if he's going to be replying, responding, or sending the first message, I don't know why I want to say responding. And I guess because I see her already standing there, like looking at this little container that contains his heart and, just wondering. She's not demanding or anything. In fact, she's not even looking at him like, hey, are you going to say something? She's more like inquisitively going, what is this big metal contraption here? I wonder what is inside of this. It feels like, if anything, she may be busy with other stuff in her life. She may not realize that this is like a big deal to him, but maybe it is a big deal because if he talks to her at all, it's because he's going to have to acknowledge to himself, she matters to my heart. That's a lot tougher when somebody already matters to our heart. With this energy of, by the way, he might look great in blue, specifically, or that could be his favorite color or something. But I keep looking at a toothbrush. I know it's a key, but it totally looks like a flying toothbrush to me. I don't know if somebody needs to the sonic toothbrushes that like vibrate, and invariably, how they always, if you take them out of your mouth and it's buzzing, how it sprays like spit and toothpaste and everything like all over your freaking bathroom mirror. I feel like like that's what I see all over here. I don't know if somebody needs to clean off their bathroom mirror, but that's totally what that reminds me of. Sorry, gross maybe, but specific messages, we go with whatever we're going to go with. If we're talking about teeth, we're talking about mouth, we're talking about talking, and possibly somebody could have like a really nice smile. That could be her or him. He may have like very minimal facial hair also. And I love his outfit because he's dressed as a mariachi. Personally, one of my favorite outfits. Love mariachi outfits. We have a Wheel of Fortune. Look, this is the right time though. Even though he's worried about this, even though he's nervous about what he's going to say, this is the perfect time of his life to open up his heart. And I think with the perfect person, I think there's a reason that he wants to respond to her. Let me just ask, why do you want to respond to her? By the way, we do have not only Leo, but now Gemini. And then we also just brought in some influence of some Aquarius, some Taurus, some Scorpio, and again, a little dose of Leo. 10 of Pentacles. Wants to talk to her about real stuff. Wants to talk to her possibly about coming home, coming for a visit, about a geographical location or an earthly place, something maybe about travel, maybe just things of substance. Maybe you want to talk about, just anything that's real. You notice how this butterfly has feet on it. Each one of these cards, specifically the tens in this deck, the butterflies are made out of different skeletal body parts, and this one happens to be made of the feet is what we're seeing. And so it's about grounding. I wonder if he wants to like share, just, this isn't even about like big flirtation. This is like, I want to talk to her about real stuff. Maybe because it'd be nice to talk to somebody that feels real about real stuff. It'd be nice to feel grounded and feel like I have, a real conversation with a person. But he also wants to talk about the future and about mysticism. Okay, so I don't know if there's a reason that he feels, sorry, something is biting my leg. I don't know if there's a reason that he feels, you notice the crystal ball here. And then if we peel back a little bit more of that fabric on the table, we actually see sitting at a table that is engraved with the palmistry hand. I don't know if he's seen a psychic, if he's a psychic, if she's a psychic, but it is something about like mysticism that he wants to talk about. Groundedness, but also mysticism. Tell me more about that, because that's an intriguing side note. I didn't expect that, in this, especially from him in this story. We have got the Eight of Wands. We got the Hermit. It's very interesting because I think what he's going to say is there's not too many people that I want to talk to. I almost feel like he doesn't really talk to much of anyone. I think he's in quite a bit of solitude. By the way, we did bring in a double dose of Virgo now also, but also some Gemini coming in here on that Magician card. But he's been in hermit's mode for a while, and it's like there's something special about her. There's some reason that I feel compelled to talk to her. These are all things I can see why he's like, God, what do I say? What do I say? Because I want to say things that are real, and then I also want to talk about esoteric things that I also want to tell her that I don't talk to people very often, and I want to tell her that there's something really special and mystical about her that I would even feel compelled to talk to her. I don't even understand why. She's one person on earth I want to open up my mouth and say things to. I want to tell her about my life. I want to tell her about stuff that's in my head. Why would I want to tell her of all people on earth? Because there's something special here. There's something that maybe I've wondering, did I manifest her? Is this, look, all of this says this is the perfect time. This is the perfect person for him to want to gravitate toward. Can we go back for a second to her? Because at the very beginning, when I jumped on in, it was like, this is the masculine who's like, I gotta send this message, but I don't know what to say. And he's like typing it, untyping it. He's afraid to send anything because he's not sure if he's getting it right. And we're working out like what he wants to say. And I can see why he's struggling, because that's a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. But, to open any conversation just has to start somewhere. But right at the beginning, I said he's the one who's got to respond. He's the one who's got to send a message. But let's talk about our feminine for just a second. Feminine, what did you say or think or do, or what's your role in all this? She's like, well, I do things and then I don't care what the outcome is, because I just do the things in my life that I think I should do. So if I keep thinking about something, then I just go ahead and I do it. And maybe it'll change the course of my life, or maybe I'll never hear another thing, but at least I don't have to think about it anymore. 5 of Wands, if she is mulling over something, going round and round and round, I feel like she goes, okay, time I do something. Let's, this is the Ace of Pentacles is about changing our life, putting something out there into the universe. If we get something back for it, cool. If not, that's okay. She can do things and then kind of forget about it. What she can't do is keep thinking about something and not take action. She knows her life is made up of, when you do things, things have consequences. But not everything. Some stuff in life are going to just be, not everything is a butterfly effect, because I, whatever, spit the pistachio seed out of my mouth as I was sitting at a red light in my car. I spit that shell out, and then because of that, a bird came by and picked up the shell, and then that bird later, was distracted by the shell and, hit a car, and, then the car pulled over to help the bird, and then that person, it doesn't mean that everything in life is going to have like this huge grand story behind it. She knows that. But I think when she keeps thinking about stuff, she's got to do something about it. She's got to take action. And then she's aware that when you take action, you don't know what the outcome will be, but it could impact your life. And she just welcomes that. But for right now, guess what? She's hearing crickets. She's probably already forgotten that she even sent a message to him or that she interacted with him. I'm guessing she did something. Ace of Pentacles is offering something, but it's also something new. We have a 9 of Pentacles in the reverse. It wasn't like a gift. It wasn't money. It wasn't anything that cost her anything. She didn't invest a ton of time, energy, and I don't want to say thought. That's not true. 7 of Pentacles says she actually thought a lot about this, but it didn't cost her anything. So it could have been a simple compliment. It could have been a simple smile. Sometimes we communicate with nothing more than a nod, a hello, just something simple. But it was something, because this takes a long time, the 5 of Wands going round and round in our head. This also is something she did think about for quite a while before, following through. And, whatever her follow through was just very simple. So I don't know what her input is, but this is where we plant a seed. She planted a seed at some point in time of like either kindness, niceness, interest. She expressed her interest and then kind of just went on about her day, is what I would say. Okay. Was that a long time ago? Was that, we have the 7 of Swords in the reverse and we have the Page of Cups upright. I feel like it either wasn't a very long time ago, or like in her mind, she's saying whatever happens, happens. It doesn't matter. But I think she already knows that, of course, the things that we do in life do matter. She may say yes, but it can be the same way if we like, okay, I've said this multiple times on maybe not this channel, but throughout the years, like probably twice I've mentioned this on my other channel. Like one time I was driving and, somebody needed to turn and, get out into the road. And, so I was coming up to a red light anyway. Of course, you just pause, you wait, you let the person in, you can see what they're trying to do. You help another driver out. And it was just so cute because the driver and passenger, specifically the passenger, like blew me kisses to thank me. And I always thought that was so cute. And it's always, I always laugh and smile in the back of my head because I do that to people now, mostly because it kind of puzzles people too. Because, usually we don't blow kisses to strangers, but I thought that was a good thing to do. And so I've carried that onward. And I think it's a trend that should really begin. Blow kisses to fellow drivers. Especially when they let you merge and stuff and let you into lanes. But in any case, sometimes little simple things like that, it does, like make you feel more friendly, or it gives you a smile, or it makes you chuckle, or something simple. A simple teeny tiny action can actually like open up doorways, or in this case, open up a lane so somebody can pull out. Little tiny, seemingly inconsequential things can make the world a better place. Maybe she was just nice. Maybe she just simply did something very, seemingly inconsequential, but it was obviously kind or polite or something like that. And he's not denying that is a really powerful impact. And I kind of think she's saying, oh, it wasn't much, but then she knows better. Little things can go a long way. So it's interesting how this storyline has like these elements of, it's not much of anything, but it actually does mean a lot. Can I see just overall what's the context? Is this like a brand new potential love story? Because that is obviously how this feels, but I just don't know, do these two know each other in a more expressive way? So, oh, Tammy, have you been sick, honey? I'm so sorry. Baby, get well soon. I just saw AC wishing you well, and I was like, wait, who's sick? What's going on? I'm sorry, baby. Feel better. How do these two know each other, or what is their interaction? We have the Two of Wands. They're both going down the same rabbit hole. All I can see is that normally the Two of Wands is, the fork in the road. Do I go this way or that way? How they know each other is like the universe put them on the same, like, I want to say wormhole. I don't know if in this gigantic world full of 8 billion plus people that we share this planet with, it is kind of a magical thing that certain people we wind up in the same groove with, and it doesn't even make sense. You can, let's say you live in a neighborhood, and 5 neighborhoods away there's somebody that for whatever reason you bump into all the time, and it's like, how is this possible? And it's like, maybe because they shop at the same grocery store because it's neighborhood, but maybe they shop in the same aisles because they happen to be interested in the same kind of, whatever, health food, or, they have similar interest in films. And so they wind up, going to the same movie theater, like, and you keep bumping into somebody because you're in the same groove as them. And that's the best way I could say this. Like, these two are kind of like on the same like river of life right now. It's definitely the same wavelength, which maybe brings us back to that whole energy of the I don't know, just like the him and the mysticism. Okay, so let me just ask this. With this typing and untyping, writing and unwriting, about to open your mouth and then not, let's change decks and let's go back to him. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I've got a double dose tonight, by the way. Sorry, everybody. Just a second, that one's empty. I just thought you guys are going to wonder why did I put a teacup down, then pick up the same teacup, because it's not the same. It's his cousin. Okay, it's twin brother. Here we go. 7 of Pentacles. I kind of think that anything he writes to her is going to be great, because if they're on the same groove and they share the same fire, the same, let's say, inspiration. And remember, we already saw the 7 of Pentacles for her somewhere. I don't know where the heck that card went now, but we already saw her like planting seeds, right? There's that 7 of Pentacles again. And this time the two of them are like seeing each other from across the flame. It's that song again is in my head, the one by Talk, the TAWK. It's called Flame. but it's just it's about wait for me till you see my flame. It's the same. It's like, you and I have like the same energy to us. And I think that's ultimately what this story is kind of about. So it feels like whatever he writes, she's probably going to pick up whatever he's putting down because they share maybe the same inspirational energy. Fire can be thoughts and inspiration, creativity, um, and passion. But this is not a fire card. This is the Seven of Pentacles. This is that groundedness. This is like at the root of who they are. Maybe they share a similar like way their mind works, maybe the way they communicate, the way they talk, language. Not everybody can like okay, if you like books, you know that there's authors that you just love the way they write. Like for me, probably my favorite for humor is Douglas Adams. I just think he's hysterical. I do really like British humor too. I love Kurt Vonnegut. I love the quirky, the offbeat, the unexpected. It's so much more interesting while still being super easy to read, super palatable, but just hysterically funny because it's not what you would expect. And I mean, Vonnegut's not always funny. Vonnegut's super deep, but and really, so is Douglas Adams. But finding somebody that can like speak your tempo is important, or your vernacular, or the way you communicate. That's huge. Ace of Coins for him as well. Remember, she had both of these when we said, okay, so she obviously like put out some kind of energy to him first and then was like, I haven't heard anything back, doesn't matter. But she planted a seed. Well, these are the same two cards now for him. So these two definitely are on the same groove, the same river of life, the same wavelength. Even here with the Jack and the Beanstalk looking card, it's like, oh yeah, their minds work the same way creatively. They have the same flow. Whatever he writes back is going to be something that like literally mirrors, because they already mirror each other. So he's giving way too much worry and concern to like, oh gosh, what am I going to say? Will this sound right? Will she get it? Yes, I think she will get it. Right down to like just the desire to connect with somebody that you feel connected to and talk about day-to-day stuff and interesting things, and then also mysticism and maybe even the bizarreness of like, I don't get why I don't talk to anybody, but I want to talk to you, because that's a big component of one of the things he wants to say. Like, this is not normal, but it's like he wants to puzzle this out. Like, why? Maybe really what he's wanting to ask without saying it out loud is, do you feel like a tug toward me as well? Got the 10 of Wands, we got the 8 of Wands. There's that message coming in. We got the Death card. There's the, I would, for some reason, I'm willing to let her in. I'm willing to let her pull back the curtain and see whatever my skeletons are in my closet, or just simply see the real me. He does not let people see the real him. This is big. And this is him saying, I actually want her to see the real me, which is even bigger possibly for him. Realizing that is huge, huge, huge. I kind of think that, thank God these two have encountered each other, or, are gravitating toward each other, because this is really super special for him to like want his guard to come down, or want somebody to actually connect to. Because it just keeps saying he has not wanted this in a long time, with that Death card there especially. And to want somebody to peel back the layers and be like, okay, I actually want this person to get to know me. Because I feel, it's like he feels like somehow she'll get him. He already kind of knows that, because he's drawn toward her. So he knows that there's something special about this. 5 of Cups. With that 5 of Cups energy, it's it's interesting, because this is him looking at her, and maybe he's more mystical than what he's giving himself credit for, because this looks like there's some kind of like profound like sensitivity in him in regards to her. Like, he senses that maybe she's been hurt before. Maybe she's been disappointed before. Maybe that's why he's like, I think I could be comfortable with her, because I think maybe she's been, down a road a time or two herself. Maybe she knows what sorrow and grief is. Maybe that's why it's like I feel comfortable, even though I really haven't gravitated toward her yet. But I feel like there's something there that makes him already feel comfortable about her. Like she understands grief. Anybody who's been through terrible things in life, I think, becomes so compassionate. I mean, sometimes you become somebody who's like, yep, I can take stuff on the chin, I can stay real calm, but also like oftentimes I think those are some of the most non-judgmental people out there, the ones who've really known great grief and they've had to go through really hard stuff. They're like, I don't judge people for how they react. I don't judge people for on their worst days. I mean, why would I? Like, grief makes us, behave in all kinds of out of the ordinary ways, or just the hurts and pains that we go through in life. It's like the more you experience it yourself, I think the more human you become, the more compassionate you are toward other, not just humans but living creatures. I think it's grief and hurt can serve a beautiful purpose in making us more compassionate, even though I'm sorry that anybody has to go through grief and pain, but it certainly does, I think, give us greater dimension, perhaps. I got an Ace of Wands. And again, there's something here about her own creative spark. In his mind, she's very creative. I don't know how he feels. Remember, there's a lot of mysticism in this. There's a lot of him sensing these things. And maybe he even wants to check if he's right about these things that he's imagining about her. Is she the person I think she is? I kind of think he already knows. And I think they both already kind of know this. There's a reason these two have been drawn together. Can we see, universe, do you want to tell us why they've been drawn together? So sorry, guys. If the coughing kicks up again, I may not make it through all the zodiacs tonight. It's just going to bum me out if I can't, but we'll see. The universe says, yeah, there's a reason these two have been drawn together. They've both been islands. Is it islands in a string or islands in a stream? That is what we are. Nothing in between. How could we be wrong? Sail away with me to another land and we'll rely on each other. I love Dolly Parton's version of that. That's such a great song, no matter who sings it. But this feels like they've both been islands. They've both maybe been hermits. They've both been hurt. You notice the rain clouds here. And it's like the universe says, it's time. Pull up your little anchors and now be together. It'd be a lot less lonely to be on an island, stranded someplace when there's two of you, or don't be an island. Don't, isolate yourself so much. You've been through hurt, yes, and there's a time to isolate as you're healing, but the healing doesn't have to go on and on forever where you need to be alone. We will always continue to heal throughout our whole lives, but you don't have to do it by yourself anymore. This is moving into calmer waters for both of them. There could be some storm clouds, rain clouds. Somebody could be wearing, she in particular could be wearing like a really lovely dark navy blue, or like fade out navy blue to paler blue. I don't know. I'm picturing like a kind of like a beach cover up or something, not necessarily a dress. And the universe says these two are meeting because it's not a trauma bond, though. It's a heal bond. It's time to heal, but they are indeed in the same river of life because they have to have shared wounds that are so similar. I feel like you notice how like their little flowers inside have wilted and have been left out in the freezing cold. I think both of these characters have known plenty of hurt, because that Five of Cups, he already sensed that she probably had hurt. There's a reason he was over there in his hermit's mode. And the universe is saying these two are in the same wavelength of having known great sorrow and having isolated themselves for a period of time, but ready for like ready for companionship now, ready for maybe some happiness and someone to talk to and somebody to connect to. This is beautiful. We got the star. So Aquarius is coming in. And this Two of Swords is not so much about blocking as it is, you notice that the two little birds, the messengers, are busy chit chatting now. I kind of think that both of them have blocked everybody else for a long time, haven't really interacted with anybody, certainly not on like a romantic or dating level. I feel like both of these characters have been pretty much like celibate for a chunk of time in this storyline. And it's like at this point in time, they're done maybe blocking, the opportunity to get to know somebody. And they're also, I kind of still think that these two will live in a little bit of their own little world together, though, instead of alone. Because the star is still like something far and distant. And my impression of both of these characters is that they're kind of unique individuals. They could be, both of them, fairly like gentle souls. And maybe it's like, they don't really want to be around a ton of harsh energy, but to heal each other and to get a chance to like let their higher selves communicate. I could see these two kind of keeping to themselves, but as a duo, like not necessarily being, I think a lot of people may see them, but I don't know that they tell other people like their deeper feelings and emotions. I still feel like they will kind of keep this sacred relationship where it's like they block other people from knowing their truer innermost thoughts. But when it comes to the two of them, they can chit chat all day and all night. I think that's what they've been looking for, is that companionship, somebody that can really know my mind and my heart, somebody that I can really share things with. Look, these two could be quite visible. They could be famous. They could be, people that are very visible in their community at a smaller local level. But there's a difference between, like being around people and then people really knowing you and knowing your story and knowing your life stories and your hurts and the things that you have gone through and the way you really feel deeply about things. That it's like both of them have a public persona and then also this private persona. And it feels like the universe is like, that's why these two are a great match. That's why these two are gravitating toward each other. That's something they've been missing, is the ability to connect to somebody at that deeper level. It's that's very nice. It's very sweet. All right, you guys, I'm going to end this one here. We're going to go ahead and do sorry. We're going to do a Cancerian video on this channel, and then I am going to go back over to the other, but we'll see how far I get tonight. I might have to wrap up a little bit earlier than I wanted to. Mama Eagle, thank you, honey. Thank you, Tina. I agree with you. Loved that. RS, thank you, babe. Oh, really? Sweet. I did not know that. Nope. Thank you, sweetie. Bobby Harris, hey, hey. So glad you made it tonight. AC, thank you again, hun. Lexus Diaz, wonderful to see you. RS is here. I love the fact AC's got everybody doing roll call for the Night Owl Club, you guys. I love it. Lauren.co. I liked this one too. Good, Tammy. I'm so glad you're on the mend, honey. Shout out to our Violet and, of course, to Nikki O and her family as well. Anybody else out there who needs some love and support right now and some good healing vibes. I know I'm not the only one in the chat thinking of everybody that visits this community. It's such a wonderful, supportive community. So sending everybody lots of love. Mama Eagle, thanks again, honey. April Fresh, you're so kind. Dragon Fortnite, wonderful to see you. Nope, thank you for reminding me. Thank you guys so much for giving it a thumbs up. So appreciate you. Cherry Coleman, Crystal Suzanne, EM Bell. Polly, Paula, we were trying to figure that part out, huh? Science Servant, great name. Shout out to you in Brazil, honey. Gabriella, wonderful to see you again tonight. Hey, Wild One. Hanging with Bishop, great to see you. Kim Pruitt, Sun Moon Venus. Thanks again, RT. All right, you guys. I will see you in a few, and we'll get to a Cancerian next. Thank you, RS. Nikki O. Hey, honey. Wendy E. Wonderful to see you too. All right, you guys. Q Miller. Glad you made it. Q Miller, you're so cute. All right, you guys. Thanks again. Bye.